Christian Wood of the Houston Rockets have recently become a very popular name in the NBA trade market, and I believe the Los Angeles Lakers should tune in. It is no question this year that the Rockets have been struggling. Right now, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA, and from what it looks like, they're in that phase in their franchise where they're not going to be good anytime soon, unless something big really happens. Ever since the big departure of James Harden last season, the Houston Rockets have taken a downshift, where they're no longer a playoff contending team, and they're focusing strictly on a rebuild surrounding Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, and of course, Christian Wood. The Rockets so far this season are the worst team in the Western Conference with a record of 10-28. And as we are slowly entering the mid-season, we are beginning to see a lot of frustration. On January 1st this year, the Houston Rockets took on the Denver Nuggets. And during this game, Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood got frustrated and ended up getting into an argument with the head coach of Stephen Silas. With that being said, we got a report that the Rockets suspended Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. for conduct detrimental to the team. It is not a good sign when your two best players are not listening and are not following protocols and the rules. Christian Wood did not even start the game and only played 8 minutes in the first half before ultimately getting benched in the second half. He didn't even check in. Head coach Stephen Silas says this: "We had a disagreement as far as him going back into the game in the second half, and I decided it would be best for the team to suspend him. It's very much attached to accountability for everybody on our team. My job is to hold people accountable to their actions and not overreact at all, but react appropriately." From the report that we got, Christian Wood ended up missing a COVID protocol checkup. And as the head coach Stephen Silas said, it is a part of his job to keep his players accountable. So holding Christian Wood out of the second half and suspending him, it's actually the right move, the appropriate move. With that being said, we got a report today that the Houston Rockets need a culture reset. Right now, with their two best players not living up to expectation, acting inappropriately, and of course not listening to the head coach, causing arguments, I do believe a big time trade is coming this year during the NBA trade deadline, with Christian Wood being in the middle of the conversation. And this is where the Los Angeles Lakers come in. The Lakers are also in the same situation. They're not living up to expectation, and a trade is coming. For this video, I'm going to be talking about the Lakers and talking about a potential trade they can offer the Houston Rockets to land forward frontcourt player of Christian Wood. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Easy Buckets. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos every single day. So if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched this video and you loved it, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. It would help with the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, let's talk about the Lakers getting Christian Wood. So far this season, Christian Wood's averaging about 16.8 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.9 blocks, shooting about 47% from the field goal, and a career low of 60% from the free throw line. He has to improve there for sure. With Christian Wood only being 26 years old, still having a lot of potential in the NBA, and still has a lot to grow, the Lakers could be a perfect team for him as they need a new frontcourt player right now, especially with Anthony Davis out. What's very special about Christian Wood is that last offseason, he signed a 3-year, $41 million deal with the Houston Rockets, which makes him getting paid about $13 million per season, and of course, puts him in the category as one of the most affordable players that of course are better and a bang for their buck. For this season, he's getting paid about $13.7 million, and then next year, $14 million. And with the Lakers right now scrambling and not even playing their current frontcourt players of Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan, maybe they want a frontcourt player that can bring what Dwight and DJ brings, but also space the floor and shoot the 3-ball. Christian Wood this season takes about 4.5 3-pointers a game, and so far makes about 2 a game. And with the NBA focusing a lot on frontcourt players that can space the floor and knock down shots, Christian Wood is developing into a more consistent shooter, but if anything, better than Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan. So imagine if Anthony Davis comes back from his injury and then the Lakers have Christian Wood. The Lakers would have 2 consistent frontcourt players that could be very helpful, reliable, and of course, if necessary, one can take over the other if needed. If the Lakers want to get Christian Wood, they're going to have to give up Talon Horton-Tucker, and this will be the deal. It will be THT and Kendrick Nunn in exchange for Christian Wood. I believe this is the best case scenario for the Lakers. On the Houston Rockets perspective, they lose a headache of Christian Wood and then get two young players in the NBA that are still trying to prove themselves, still trying to find a rhythm, and still trying to create a name. And right now with the Houston Rockets needing a new culture, THT with his NBA experience as a champion and of course playing with players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis could help shift that Rockets culture and somehow become the next James Harden. The Lakers are big on THT and so are many NBA teams, and with the Rockets already being linked to THT last season, a trade could become possible as THT is getting paid about $10 million, which of course is very close to Christian Wood's $14 million. Kendrick Nunn is simply in this deal to become a replacement for KPJ just in case he gets traded as well. Kendrick Nunn is older, has more experience, and if the Rockets want more playmaking and of course a scoring step back 3-point shooter, Nunn is that guy. On the Lakers' perspective, I love this deal because of course they have to sacrifice THT, which right now THT is not playing that well, and so far this season, Kendrick Nunn has not even played yet, and that's why this trade helps out both sides as the Rockets are entering a rebuild while THT has 2 more years on his deal, and then of course Nunn has an extra year on top of that, because just in case, if Christian Wood is not happy in Houston, he could be leaving next season. But I do want to give out one more trade scenario for the Houston Rockets perspective to make this trade more realistic, and that's the Lakers offering up THT and Kendrick Nunn, but then adding a second round pick, their 2023 second round pick, on top of THT and Kendrick Nunn. On the Rockets perspective, with Christian Wood still being a valuable center in the NBA, they don't want to trade him for nothing. And of course would like some future drafting assets. And of course if the Lakers offer 2 young players of THT and Nunn, that will get the Rockets interested, but adding a draft pick on top might just seal the deal. So I'm putting this trade scenario in just in case the Rockets want more, and of course it'll make more sense for them to accept. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rob Pelinka would still do this deal, because honestly they're going full throttle for the NBA championship this season. So to talk about Christian Wood, during last offseason, he ended up signing with the Houston Rockets because he wanted to play with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. But a fun fact to know, he didn't get the chance to do so. So going to the Lakers, he'll get that opportunity to play with Russell Westbrook that he wanted to, but of course, playing with LeBron James over James Harden, that's a big time upgrade. And even Anthony Davis in the lineup, Christian Wood will get a true championship experience and of course develop to be a better center and frontcourt player in the NBA. Christian Wood has always been very vocal, saying he wants a chance to prove that he's an NBA All-Star, and maybe playing for the Lakers, the Bright Lights of LA, could rise his stock for his future career. So yes guys, this wraps up my video for today, talking about the possibility of the Lakers trading for Christian Wood. What's most important to me is I want to know your thoughts. Do you believe this trade scenario is realistic? Do you believe this would ever happen? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless. See you all next time on Easy Buckets. Whoa!